Well, for warm-ups today, we were starting to get a handle on the kart. He was starting to fix some of his lines, like entering the corner a little bit later, being able to carry a bit more speed, getting the kart rotated around. It's a little bit different line than we're used to for 206. He was having an issue entering early, exiting early, so he was making sure he was waiting a little bit longer, getting the kart turned, rotated back on the power so he can drive through the corners. And also carrying a little bit more speed through the corners, because it was more like he needed to get on the brakes a lot harder and get back on the power sooner. So just work on that. But today, every session, we improved. No matter what, we were improving time after time after time. So it was a move in the right direction. First practice session out of the way. Went better. Motor-wise, came alive much better. Gearing helped out a lot. Now, we talked about P4 yesterday? Yeah. No, yeah, we did. Yeah, do the penalties and everything else. We ended up P4 yesterday. So never give up, never surrender. Today, we're going to keep working on some tweaks here and there on the chassis. Work on driving. It's a little bit of different driving style for sure. It is all driving now at this point. So if he drove like he did before, much better. That's the man, the myth, the legend. He's riding away. So for heat 2, we went out on the 79 rear gear. We took out his steering mount tilt, and we took out the front bar. This allows the chassis to lift slower. He can feel the chassis lift up, and then he could try to hold a little bit better. I also added some caster into the car as well to help him with the lift and jack. Kart, we went faster, but he wasn't comfortable in the kart, and he was having an issue losing the front end from time to time. So when he came off track, he told me those issues. I went into changing mode. I changed a couple things out, and seeing the EGTs and temperatures and the RPMs, I was debating on adding a tooth or not to the gearing to give him more drive out of the corners. He was pulling good at the top end. I think we're hitting like 16.8, and the motor still pulling strong. So we hadn't hit the peak yet of like where the motor stops pulling RPM wise, but we found out adding some teeth to the back of this bad boy makes those 2-stroke scream. It doesn't have a rev limiter, so we have to be careful. He was working on his line. You can see that their lines are a little bit different than ours. He basically drives them really well, but his Achilles heel was the showcase. He would enter it really, really wide, and then turn 1, you would see him like start to turn in early, correct, drift back out, and then turn in again. So he was doing like a double diamond. As you see here, he turns in, drifts out, and then turns back in again. So trying to get him to stay out wider a little bit later on all his entries, because he was entering early, exiting early still. But I think now he was trying to get it down, but the kart really wasn't really working for him. And it was probably all the changes that I did to try to help him. It probably went backwards a little bit. So I knew the setup that we had in for qualifying was the quickest one. We were just off by 3 teeth in qualifying. So now I knew to get him back on that setup, add the teeth back in. He was working hard on his driving, but this race he had very consistent lap times. So our fastest lap was a 39.5, and he stayed right around 39.5 and 6s. I know it was slower than the leader's pace, but this is the first time that we have very consistent driving from Junior. So I know he was getting more comfortable in the kart. He was getting better with the power plant. Things were starting to turn in. All the hard work, all the frustrations that we had for the first couple days, we were starting to come alive Saturday. Like at the beginning of the race, that was basically his first pass all weekend. So he did an amazing job, got more confident. He was giving me the right feedback so I can do the adjustments on the chassis. Overall, I was ecstatic. I was very happy, and I knew that the results were coming, and they were going to come quick. Well, heat 2 out of the way. He got consistent lap time, so we're getting consistency out of the kart. We put his steering mount back on. He likes it better like this. And we're stiffing up the front end again. We're going to remove a line of caster out. Hopefully get him back to where he's more comfortable. And then debating on the gear change. I want to go 1 tooth up to see what happens, so we might add 1 more tooth to see it. If not, we might just leave it the same and just send it. But we got the EGTs in the right area that we want them. Just a little fine tuning down and it should be much better. So I went with my gut feeling. I gave him an 80. I think the gear was a little bit too high. It wrapped out at 17.3, but they didn't want to pull in more after that. He was just running out at the top end, but giving plenty of a bottom end. Here he goes in, does some great moves, shoves it on the inside, does a great job, and then he was basically with the gear on the bottom end, he was able to keep up. We were in the mix. We passed a couple people. We were in the mix. Things were looking good for this race. It was looking really good. I was super pumped when I saw him come out of the turn in 5th. Entering the showcase, he was just right there with everybody. It looked great. I can't believe it. I was ecstatic. Comes in here, goes to the showcase. All right. Basically, right here you can tell where they start pulling away a little bit on the top end, but he was able to close back up on the gap. 999 does a little check back. 982 looks like he slams the door on 999. 999 does a great job staying off him, but then Junior gets into back of 999. After that, the bumper was shoved under us. He really couldn't turn the cart that well. Ruined our run, but it was all right. It was a good learning experience. We still knocked off some quick times and dropped our main time down to 39.1 for sure. Even with the bumper slammed to the ground and rubbing, he was still doing decent lap times. I know it was extremely difficult for him to turn. Later in the run, he ends up dropping a tire, banging the sprocket, which popped the chain. So that ended our run for Heat 3. It was just a handful, so not what the results we were looking at, but we still were moving the right direction. I decided to go back down a tooth because I thought I was pushing it too hard, too high. So went back down a tooth, went back to the qualifying setup. I knew that was the quickest setup we had, and we were just getting ready for the pre-final, so we could definitely step up our game one more time and see if we can make some positions in the pre-final. So, Heat 3 in the book. We actually picked up some speed, but on-track incident. I haven't watched the tape yet myself. Send it. Send it. Everybody's gonna send it. There's been on and off rain for sure. So Zach had a killer race. He just took a selfie of himself. How happy he is. He just took a selfie. He's like, "Hey, I did good." But we got one more round. That'll be the pre-finals. Cart's handling well. We're finally getting the gear down. Tuning the engine isn't that difficult. Once you get an EGT probe, you need one of those to read the EGT readings. But once you get that down, just keep it between 900 and 1100, and you're good to go. So on to a pre-final. Hope it goes better. Thanks for watching, guys. On to a pre-final. We had the right setup. We had the good gearing. He gets off to a great start. We're in the right place, right time. We made some great moves. We were mixing it up today. We were battling it out. We kept getting faster each session. This time he was consistently running right next to his fastest lap time. He was able to pull off 39 flats, 1s and 2s the whole race. Basically just a couple of tenths off the leader. So we were getting more comfortable with the whole setup, engine, chassis, power plant, the lines. Everything was starting to come together. We moved in the right direction all day long. We made gains. We made leaps and bounds. We were finally in the mix. We weren't running a second off the pace. We were running tenths off the pace, which in turn we were just inching our way for that final day to get ready. We actually ended up P6 in the end. Great run by us. Super ecstatic, super happy by the end of the day. Just kept digging, and didn't stop digging. Rocka was really fast all day long. Congratulations to him. He was killing it all day as well. Super fast on his kart. Junior was, just kept improving all night. Tonight we decided to, just clean up the chassis, basically just make sure everything was tight, go over video and data during the night to make sure we can tighten up anywhere else we were missing so we can have a good showing in the finals. Starting the weekend out running mid 40s to down to 39 flats. Man, I was ecstatic. I was happy. I learned a ton. Thanks to everybody that helped out. Thanks TB Kart USA. Thanks EK Chains. Thanks Speed Lab. Thanks to everybody, man. It was just a hard fought effort all day long, all weekend long. We were getting ready for the finals. In the pre-finals, things, I know we still end up P6, but things were looking better for us. We weren't that far off the pace. Hard work was starting to pay off, and we went off into the deep end. Instead of taking practice days and getting our stuff ready and making sure everything was good to go, we took an engine from the box, didn't know what the heck we were doing, slapped it on the chassis, didn't know how to do the chassis setup for this engine, did not know how to drive with this extra speed. So, we did a lot for a short amount of time. So, super happy. P6, running 39 flat. We're on the move. We're going to the front. I killed somebody on accident. So, the day came to an end. We've made improvements. We've gotten quicker. We'll still keep fighting. We still have a decent chance. I think we're going to be starting like P6 maybe, if we're lucky. And then we just got to work our way forward. So we're going to look over some video tonight and look over some data, and cart's ready to go, set up, driver's ready. You will be by tomorrow morning. Dad's ready. Dad's been ready.
Been ready. Great work by Jorge. His work is butt up this weekend. Thank you. We really appreciate your effort, buddy.
Can I believe we have one more run? But tomorrow, tomorrow's only when it matters.
Yeah.
Really. Renee, awesome job to him. Good win on the pre-final.
Awesome.
Starting P1. Zach did a great race against the top shifters in the country. P7. So definitely, let's definitely send it tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share, guys. I appreciate everything you guys do. Love talking to you guys. Love seeing you at the track. I mean, I really do enjoy it. So let's have a good race. Let's send it. Everybody be safe. Have fun. Catch you guys in the next video.